All right, my love, it's me. It's me. It's your girl, Prst. I'm in better spirits now. Give thanks to the Most High for that. Let's awaken to the fifth dimension.
Mention. Discovering the Soul's Path to Healing. Kimberly Meredith. Revolutionary wisdom from one of the world's most respected medical intuitive healers. New York. A note to the reader. Dear reader, this is not your ordinary book on healing. There are many books that can give you advice on how to heal from various diseases, often written by doctors or other health practitioners. Many of those books contain good information, but this book, while also on healing, is written from a different viewpoint. As a medical medium, I have a spiritual worldview. I wrote this book on healing and living in the fifth dimension from that perspective. Much of this information will be new to you, and I encourage you to read through the book carefully. The advice in this book is powerful, and I hope it will inspire you to explore the fifth dimension healing in your life. In addition to spiritual practices that will lift you into the realm of the fifth dimension, I have included a section that is devoted to practical fifth dimension healing practices for your mind and body. These are all general recommendations, and I invite you to read through them to find the ones that resonate with you. EqG. A note to the reader. You'll see in reading this book that I often work with doctors and other healthcare professionals, and I feel that healing comes in many forms, through many ways. Working with a healthcare professional is an important thing to do for all of us. Since every person is unique, and since reading a book is different from having a one-on-one scan from me. This book is not meant to prescribe or diagnose medical treatment. Anytime in discussing our health, it is important to remind the reader to always consult your health practitioner before making changes that could affect your health. Please do not discontinue or make changes to any medical directive your doctor has given you without consulting your doctor. Of course, never do any meditative practice while driving or operating machinery of any kind. Above all, use your God-given common sense to always take positive actions. May this book open a door for you, a portal into the fifth dimension way of thinking and living. Love yourself and others. With love, Kimberly. Awaken to the fifth dimension. Introduction 37. The fifth dimension is pure love, pure light, unconditional forgiveness, unconditional acceptance, instant manifestation, unlimited possibilities beyond time and space, the God vibration, expansion, healing, ascension, oneness, interconnectedness, and so much more. 1. The fifth dimension, awakening to your own higher consciousness. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Albert Einstein. I never imagined that I would one day be able to actually see through people's bodies and heal them. I am often referred to as a phenomenon because I blink in codes and receive messages from God in the fifth dimension, where miracles occur every day, and where the Holy Spirit is here to help us. After my NDEs, my gifts fully awakened, but my spirit guides want you to understand that you don't have to go through an NDE, or experience trauma, to find God. As you will realize, we not only live in a multidimensional world, we don't die. We transcend and keep raising our consciousness, if we choose to. We are all multidimensional beings with the potential to access higher dimensions, higher states of consciousness, and because of this, we can heal ourselves faster now than ever before. Our consciousness determines what dimension we are in at any given time and what we choose to create in our state of mind. We are nearing the ascension and taking a clear sense of responsibility. The fifth dimension, awakening to your own higher consciousness. 41. Our consciousness is absolutely necessary. Right now, I live mainly in the fifth dimension. Many people are experiencing the emergence of their divine gifts as they deepen their faith and begin to live more fully in fifth dimensional awareness and consciousness. We're witnessing people being healed quickly and more frequently. Energies are shifting. Many people thought 2012 was the end of the world. Actually, it was the beginning of the awakening. I had my NDE at the end of 2012, and at that time I knew nothing about the Mayan calendar. In the time, the supernatural of my awakening was truly part of a vast conscious light moving into a fifth-dimensional matrix. Being a channel for Mother Mary can only come from first-hand experience. We all have abilities to tap into our own superpowers far off into a matrix of space. At this time, many guides are here for us, to serve you and move you into the fifth dimension, mapping the global grid. I feel more people than ever before are ready for their own ascension. Some feel they have had an awakening when being healed from a severe illness or after experiencing an intimate miracle or a spiritual encounter. Some people have already ascended, in which they will reveal and demonstrate supernatural powers in positive ways, because we are shifting into a new energetic alignment, a fifth-dimensional level of consciousness of love and joy. The ascension involves calling people out on abuse, identifying abuse, correcting abuse, and letting go of abuse. If you are doing misdeeds, you're going to get caught. If you're doing good deeds, you will become known. If you have a gift, it will. 42. Awaken to the fifth dimension. Become known. This is all a part of the ascension process. The truth will be exposed, and it will be beautiful and magical. You may wonder what exactly the fifth dimension is and what separates it from our third-dimensional material reality. In materialist terms, scientists might describe the third dimension as where solid objects differ from two-dimensional drawings of them, whereas the fourth dimension is space and time. Time is also a dimension that moves us forward into the fifth dimension, and the fifth is a dimension normally unseen by humans, which physicists believe is where gravity and electromagnetism unify. But in spiritual terms, the third-dimensional reality is artificial intelligence, electricity, technology, the glare of LED lights, suffering and pain and disease and greed and anger, and also very me-oriented, very self-absorbed and mind-controlled. The third dimension is non-spiritual. The guides don't like what we humans have created in the third-dimensional world. They say the third-dimensional world wasn't designed to exist for long because it embodies fear, egotist behaviors, and greed. The fourth dimension is spirituality and love and compassion, along with the higher connections to angels, your guides, and the animal kingdom, while the fifth dimension is the paranormal realm where miraculous healings come from. Many people have paranormal abilities and healing abilities in this world, but most aren't able to tune to those gifts with regularity. People can be awakened into the fifth dimension when they begin witnessing multiple miracles. Let's examine these dimensions more closely. The fifth dimension, awakening to your own higher consciousness. 43. Into the realm of miracles. Dimensions are a means of organizing different planes of existence according to their vibratory rate. Each dimension has certain sets of laws and principles that are specific to that frequency of that dimension. Each dimension vibrates at a higher rate than the one below. In each higher dimension, there exists a clearer, wider perspective of reality, a greater level of knowing. We experience more freedom, greater power, and more opportunity to create reality. You might think that the third dimension refers to that things you see, such as the house, the tree, the animal. In this dimensional context, these things are seen as part of form, that which has shape, mass, texture, and weight. Form is also present in the fourth dimension and to some degree in the fifth. In these higher dimensions, things are more light-filled, not as dense as they are in the third. The third dimension is locked in time, space. This dimension is a schoolroom that souls attend by inhabiting humanoid physical bodies to learn more about creation. In the third dimension, life mirrors all that we are seeking to understand. Therefore, the process of creating via our thoughts and feelings is slowed down so that we can track the circumstances of what we hold in our consciousness. The third dimension is a state of consciousness that is very limited and restricted and dense. Third-dimensional society and science seek to prove that the only reality that exists is the one we perceive with our five physical senses and urges us to believe that our third-dimensional perceptions of reality are the only reality. Because we've been living in this third. 44. Awaken to the fifth dimension. Dimensional reality for so many lifetimes, we tend to assume that this is the only reality available to live in. A third-dimensional operating system runs on rigid beliefs and a fairly inflexible set of rules and limitations. For example, in the third dimension, we learn to believe that bodies are solid, they can't merge with each other or walk through walls. Everything is subject to gravity, physical objects cannot disappear, and we cannot read another person's mind. There's a solid belief that we have to work hard to accomplish our goals. Fear, judgment, and separation from the whole are pervasive. The fourth dimension is the bridge we're on now and will be for a relatively short period of time. In traveling through the fourth dimension, we are preparing ourselves for the fifth. Many of us have had experiences of the fourth dimension for a number of years now, without realizing it as we connect more to our angelic realm and spiritual nature. We're experiencing this dimension when we have moments of insight and awakening. Other times, it can happen when we're simply feeling clear and quiet inside. Everything within and around us feels lighter and less rigid. Time is no longer linear in the fourth dimension. Fourth dimensional perception of past, present, and future is more fluid as the laws of time and space change. We discover that time is malleable, they can actually stretch and condense, much to our third dimensional surprise. Because of the fluid nature of time and space in the fourth dimension, our astral forms naturally morph. Hence, there is a huge mobility of form. A shaman or holy person who can shapeshift has learned to ground their astral form upon the fourth dimension. The fifth dimension, awakening to your own higher consciousness. 45. Completely that they can temporarily change their third dimensional form. Manifestation is much faster in the fourth dimension. Thoughts and feelings create reality much more quickly than in the third dimension. In general, when we're experiencing love, joy, and gratitude, we're experiencing fourth dimensional consciousness. When you have clear moments of clarity, you're in the fourth dimension, a constant confirmation of amazing synchronicities of precious guided messages. Gratitude is the best way to live and move into the next dimension. The fifth dimension is a life of spirit, but there is still an experience of I as an individual member of the group. Linear time and space do not fear, and there is no illusion of separation or limitation. Instead, there is a constant experience of the all. To enter into the fifth dimension and stay there, all mental and emotional baggage must be left at the door. No fear, suffering, anger, hostility, guilt, or sense of separation exists there. Mastery over thought is a prerequisite. All actions on this plane are based upon love because fear cannot survive the higher vibration of the fifth dimension. If we were to experience fear while in the fifth dimension, this would instantly lower us to the subplanes of the fourth dimension. The 5D conscious mind has only one thing to experience, and that is love and light vibration. Fifth dimension living. In the fifth dimension, we live in unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, and unconditional acceptance. We have 46. Awaken to the fifth dimension. No fear, no hate, or judgment of any kind, or self-competition. This dimension is where the world could and will have complete healing. In the fifth dimension, you think about something, and it becomes present. People generally communicate. Telepathy and have the ability to read each other's thoughts and feelings with ease. The experience of time is radically different. Some describe it as everything happening at once. There is no distinction between past, present, and future. This dimension is magical and even so crystalline, you can have superpowers. I have touched into all my clairvoyant abilities in this dimension, and I predict many of you will be able to do the same in the near future. This is the dimension where healing can take place fast and easy. It is also where many ascended masters are reborn into this dimension and come back to teach here and help others, or lead people to the awakening, which has been happening since the beginning of history. Many of us are having experiences or dreams that feel like visits to the fifth dimension. These are very exciting and hopeful. They keep us moving on through the difficulties that sometimes arise as we travel through the fourth dimension and into the fifth. Not everyone on the planet at this time is making the choice consciously, or even unconsciously, to make the shift into the fifth dimension. All souls have the choice to enter the fifth dimension, given they have assimilated sufficient light to hold the energy levels that exist in that higher vibration. But many will be choosing to leave the earth within several decades to move on to other third dimensional experiences in the fifth dimension. Awakening to your own higher consciousness. 47. Other parts of the universe. They will not have finished with what third dimensional reality still has to teach them. The 5D superpowers. Once inside the fifth dimension, it feels like you have superpowers. Just as Superman and Superwoman gain their superpowers from Earth's yellow sun, the fifth dimension grants us powers beyond those of normal humans. Conversely, just like kryptonite, which harms and weakens Superman and Superwoman, the third dimension drains our strength and reduces our health. Those who are on the path of ascension may eventually possess clairvoyance, the ability to see beyond that which is perceived with physical eyes. Clairvoyance includes seeing the third eye, also known as the inner eye or the mind's eye. For example, words, symbols, or other information may appear in the mind's eye of a person who possesses clairvoyance. This may happen unexpectedly as a form of guidance as the person goes about their daily routine, or it may happen as a result of their own intention of going within to search for answers. Information may come regarding the person who actually possesses the ability of clairvoyance, or information that pertains to others may come through. Those who experience clairvoyance may also see the actual unfolding of scenes in their mind's eye. The scenes play out like the scenes of a movie. They may even see objects and people moving about in the scenes, or they may see still shots of scenes. The scenes often contain pertinent information. 48. Awaken to the fifth dimension. They, themselves, may need or information that others may need. One who possesses clairvoyance may also experience seeing the spirits of those who have passed away. These spirits may be higher dimensional beings, such as spirit guides, or other divine beings, spirits that are stuck between the third dimensional earth and heaven, family members who have recently departed, or other beings that are not incarnated on the third dimensional plane. Those who experience clairvoyance may also possess the ability to see beyond the third dimensional plane. They may be able to see into the higher dimensions and into alternate realities, parallel universes. Many parallel universes exist in the same exact physical space that our third dimension occupies. They simply exist at an energy vibration that is different from our planetary energy vibration. Some parallel universes exist at a higher energy vibration than our own, and some exist at a lower energy vibration than our planetary consciousness. Therefore, because our energy vibration does not match other energies, we normally do not perceive them. A person who possesses the ability of clairvoyance and the other, clairs, see below, may sometimes see into the other universes. They may see physical objects, buildings, animals, and even other sentient beings in the other universes. This is the opening of the third eye, the full Kundalini awakening, which happens in the fifth dimension. After my NDE, I had all the clairs open up for me, including my trance channeling abilities, in the fifth dimension. People who possess the ability of clairvoyance may also be able to see the energy field that exists around all living. The fifth dimension, awakening to your own higher consciousness. 49. Things. They may see a gray energy field surrounding living things, or a gray energy field emanating from living things. They may also see an energetic duplicate of objects. Some who possess the ability of clairvoyance may even see, in great detail, the colors of the auras of others. Once we are on the path of ascension, the veil begins to lift, and we begin to experience our true, natural, multidimensional nature. We transition beyond the third dimension to a higher state of being. We are no longer limited to the 5 physical senses of the third dimension Earth plane. In 5D terms, we each have points in our natal astrological charts that show where we can link up to 5D abilities. Our charts also show where some might be better at using their superhero powers than others are. What I have found to be some of the determining factors are: 1. Which lifetime you are on out of 9 in this sequence of lifetime stages of growth with these superhero powers. 2. If you are undeveloped and unaware of them. 3. Developed but unaware, it is a gift and it creates reactions from others that make it a person's kryptonite, powerful when it is used in positive ways. 4. Developing but unaware that not everyone else has this power, so we can't understand why they don't get this ability of ours. 5. Full awareness of the power and judicious use of it, getting in touch with it and how to use it. 50. Awaken to the fifth dimension. We do have these 5D abilities at our disposal. The progression of the planets has brought us to a place where we can begin to manifest them in true superhero fashion. Over the next 2 years, I believe we will begin to experience more awareness on a global scale with help from the higher civilizations, extraterrestrial, and Christ consciousness. Now ascending in consciousness at a rapid rate into more and more 5D awareness, which will align with the age of Aquarius. We will simply move from one dimension to another as our own vibrational consciousness ascends higher, proving that we are multidimensional beings. Imagine what each of these superhero powers will be like when we are truly like Harry Potter, living in the magic of the 5D world of love. In a 3D time-space reality, there is a past, present, and future. All things and people are separate. This 3D reality assures that the past is always influencing the present and future. This mindset constructs, perceives, thinks, and acts according to pre-existing events. This is the mind that functions according to fate. The 3D human is pushed forward in time. It evolves according to physical law and believes it is solely a body that eventually transcends. 5D humans are infinite in that they live according to universal and spiritual laws. There is no time or space. They are interconnected in the oneness of the universe. 5D humans understand the nature of a 3D reality yet know how to shape time and space to co-create the future. In other words, they are always, like the ancient mystics and avatars of old, dreaming their world into being. Everything, in every moment, is radically new. They have tapped the secrets of the fifth dimension, awakening to your own higher consciousness. 51. The universe to become the creator of their destiny, 5D who Mons know they are spirit as much as they exist in a body. Know they are immortal and eternal. This mindset of genius gives the 5D human a freedom from a limited life experience. They live in a 3D world, yet know how to entangle themselves in the quantum field of infinite potential of the fifth dimension. All dimensions and all realities exist in this moment. We create our own right to choose our own choice to live in the fastest, greatest God frequency, the fifth dimension. Once you learn how easy it is to get into it, you won't want to be out of it, and when you shift into the third and bounce back from it and see how quickly you gain your abilities to stay in the fifth, it will become apparent you have ascended into the fifth. Depression and the negative pull of 3D no longer have to be in your existence. The fifth dimension is the magical dimension within which spontaneous disappearances of cancer tumors and diseases, or genetic mutations of tissues, occur with regularity. To tap into your 5D nature, you must unlearn and undevelop the 3D mindset of the ego that separates every word, every thought, every perception in every moment. 5D humans know they are spirit as much as they exist in a body. They know they are immortal and eternal. This mindset of genius gives 5D humans freedom from limited life experiences. They live in a 3D world, yet know how to entangle themselves in the quantum field of infinite potential of the fifth dimension, to create a super-conscious and beautifully magical life experience based exclusively on the law of one. 52. Awaken to the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension 6, Clairs. Clairvoyance means clear seeing. This is when visions, past, present, and future, flash through our mind's eye, or third eye, much like a daydream. Many of us are highly visual and able to understand an idea best when we see it written or sketched out as an image on a computer screen or on a canvas. Visual people often choose to be artists, builders, photographers, decorators, designers, and so forth. If this sounds familiar, your clairvoyance is most likely a dominant sense. This helps bring out your intuition and open up your Kundalini awakening. I look at a person and can see their complete aura in a few minutes. You can also do this with practice of meditation.
Listen, check this out. I'm gonna give y'all a taste of what my next live is gonna be about. Oh, yeah. Okay. That ain't what I want to do though. Every time I'm trying to show y'all something, this shit want to do something different. See, what I do is I had downloaded, right? And I just in this This Adobe, it'll read it off for me if I do. That's what I'm doing. I'm letting the Adobe read off what I had downloaded. Give me just a second. I just downloaded the shit. Now where the hell is it? Oh, you bitch! You want to act stupid now, huh? Hold on, I'll let you listen to it from here until I can get it straightened out. Y'all gonna probably like this one. Damn, if it ain't on here either. Yeah, let me go on and then let this play until I can get this shit straightened out.
54. Awaken to the fifth dimension. Us to past memories, or we may be drawn to working as a florist, a wine taster, or a fragrance creator. When I have a sense of different smells around, it will mean angelic or movement of dimensional shifts are happening. Clairgustance means clear tasting. This is the ability to taste something that isn't actually there. This experience oftentimes comes from out of the blue when a deceased loved one is attempting to communicate a memory or association we have with a particular food or beverage that reminds us of them. If we have a heightened sense of taste, this would make us natural chefs, bakers, or food critics. You might have an aroma memory of your grandma making your favorite foods. Smelling the person and the food calms you as well as your loved ones from the other side. Claircognizance means clear knowing. This is when we have knowledge of people or events that we would not normally have knowledge about. Spirit impresses us with truths that simply pop into our minds from out of nowhere. An example of this would be a premonition, a complete ongoing nagging warning not to do something, a forewarning of something that will happen in the future. Claircognizance requires tremendous faith because there's often no practical explanation for why we suddenly. The fifth dimension, ... Awakening to your own higher consciousness. 55. Know something. Many philosophers, professors, doctors, scientists, religious and spiritual leaders, and powerful sales and business leaders tend to be highly intuitive and seem to just know the facts with a sense of certainty. How to awaken your higher consciousness. Choose to channel energies from the masters, who are here to show people how to heal themselves, how to dissolve tumors, and how to regenerate their bodies faster and permanently heal themselves when you go into a state of God consciousness, the fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, you can access miracles and be healed instantly. We are not God but a reflection of the loving divine feminine and masculine energy of God's source frequency. I am an energy of God, a spiritual vessel and guide to help you transition into a higher state of consciousness. And as a trance channel, to help open your gifts. I have been where some of you have been and where some of you are now. I, too, have experienced loss, emotional uncertainty, physical pain, illness, and heartbreak. I have experienced betrayal from family members who were supposed to be my protectors, my advocates, and my primary examples of how to give and receive love.
Your family.
I was in an automobile accident and suffered life-threatening injuries. I've had struggles, multiple near-death experiences, and sadness at times, but I. 56. Awaken to the fifth dimension. And healed. I could be gone right now, but I am here. We are all given challenges in this lifetime. It is important to understand that we all have lessons to learn. I am humble to know that God healed me in the fifth dimension. I am truly grateful for this miracle. Prior to becoming the person I am now, I knew there were days when I did not think I would be able to make it, but I did. It is from these experiences that I now live as a light being embodiment of love, transformation, and renewal. I am deeply grateful to say I now live as spiritually strengthened living proof that even the most difficult challenges are surmountable. I share this with you so you will know no matter what you have dealt with, or are currently dealing with, you are not alone and there is hope. I am a living and breathing example of vast possibilities available to each and every one of you when you have complete faith in God and in this fifth dimensional God frequency. With each step you take toward personal healing, raising the vibration of your consciousness and leading by example, you create the possibility of hope. Through my guides, I help people awaken to their higher consciousness and activate their DNA. I am an open vessel directed to heal through my hands and scan through my eyes as I blink in multidimensional code frequencies. As I communicate through sign language and speak in fifth-dimensional etheric angelic light language, my gifts heal and awaken many people in order to help move humanity forward. Every day, I witness miraculous healings in my office and at events I am featured. This is in a fifth-dimensional state of being. During healing events, I am divinely guided by the Holy Spirit into the audience to select several individuals. The fifth dimension, ... awakening to your own higher consciousness. 57. Receive medical intuitive scans, revealing many diseases, emotional traumas, and unusual conditions, past and present. When the Holy Spirit guides me to those in the group who need healing, I am told through the grace of God, through my eyes and hands, to cross their arms over their chest, then to lay on hands and heal them through Christ's light. This is the sign that the energy of the angels and master guides through the fifth dimension is truly working and God has made the statement of true healing. The guides love to invite many individuals to join me on stage to assist in the laying on of hands. This is divine intervention and the love of the Christ consciousness, the true awakening of the healing of our inner life force in this magical dimension. When I am guided during a healing, I begin by applying holy water and anointing oil to the person's forehead and the palms of their hands. When I start to pray on the person, I often hear in my ear a gentle whisper directing me to say to them, "Do you accept the Holy Spirit?" Then the person says, "I accept the Holy Spirit." After they've had a blessing, they confirm it by saying, "I am healed." While this is happening, the most unbelievable thing is also happening to me, which I have a hard time explaining. My body goes through a time tunnel. I feel chills, my hands are numb, and I see a lake, mountains all around, and beautiful flowers. It is so wonderful and easy. I also feel so much negative energy leaving the person's body and the person is looking up at me happy or crying with joy. Often, we say, "I am love and I am light and I am in the fifth dimension. I am healed. I am a child of God." The person who is on the table has been healed, set free, and looks much different. This is amazing and feels. 58. Awaken to the fifth dimension. So incredible. This is when both of my eyes are blinking to signify God. Hail Mary. By the power of the Divine Spirit, the person will be healed.
Hail Mary.
Everything is
Hail
truly
Mary.
being guided organically by Spirit. God wants the person to be in the fifth dimension and to be healed, and therefore they are healed. To help magnify the healing power in the room, the more that people witness these miracle healings, the more we are awakened into the higher fifth dimensional magic, like a Harry Potter movie. That is why the Holy Spirit is here more than ever in the world. Religion is not about whose God is better. When I do healings and proclaim the Holy Spirit is going through my body, this reflects the energy of God. When you tap into the energy of the Holy Spirit, you access a loving, healing vibration. The Holy Spirit is not a religion. It cannot be associated with any religion because it has nothing to do with religion. The Holy Spirit is pure love and is pure love. It is one with the energy of God. I have known this since I was a child, especially during difficult times when I felt the presence surrounding me. The meaning of God is truly love and to be healed in the world where so much suffering is happening, and yet so many miracles at the same time makes one perhaps wonder about free will. When we take responsibility for our own actions and consciousness, we win, and that's when we move forward. We rise up and raise each other up. Our struggles are our strengths. Forgiveness is painful but possible and necessary to not accumulate unwanted energy of the third dimension. Healing is one of the most important things you can learn and experience in life. It teaches you how to become involved in your own personal outcome and the outcome. The fifth dimension, ... awakening to your own higher consciousness. 59. Of others. It extends to the personal actions and choices you take for your free will and your well-being and the well-being of others. Considering that we are living in third-dimensional
Good, bad,
unprecedented
and
times,
ugly.
we need unprecedented healing tools, supplemental and fifth dimensional spiritual tools that teach us how to strengthen our bodies, minds, and spirits. Healing is multifaceted. It encompasses the spiritual, mental, and emotional body as well as the physical. When we have the right tools, the highest tools, to actively participate in our own healing, we can move forward to heal ourselves. During private sessions, I relay supplemental informational tools to further support all aspects of healing by addressing topics that include self-protection tools, awakening your God consciciousness, organic holistic living and nutrition, boosting your immune system, avoiding toxic exposure to mercury and plastics, exclusive information about water, dechlorinating shower filters, meditation, and daily prayer. In addition to supplemental tools and learning how to survive in a third dimensional world while building an intimate relationship with the fifth dimensional frequency of God consciousness, spiritual tools also include awakening your highest gifts through DNA activation and telomeres, the protective caps on DNA strands that shorten with age and bad dietary habits. By lengthening your telomeres with a healthy diet and meditation, you can enhance your health and lifestyle. When my guides use me to do DNA activation through your eyes, it allows for a transmission and an easier progression into fifth dimensional consciousness. At the time you 60 awaken to the fifth dimension, experience a change in your DNA, it begins to awaken the body as the result of growth that is now underway. One of the ways to activate the body is through the eyes, and we can experience a Christ consciousness awakening through
Oh, you bastard, you.
our DNA being activated. Through the transmission of eye contact, eye channel activations, and you may have an enlightenment through your eyes. DNA activation is a wonderful healing tool that can be used to remove sabotaging beliefs and experiences that can become lifelong impediments. When the guides do the
They just ain't
DNA
meant for y'all to hear it, I
activations, you
reckon.
can leave the third dimension and you start to awaken to your full potential, your gifts from birth. The trauma leaves your DNA, and you can have a rebirth. This exercise is explained.
I would tell you what it was about. It was about using sexual energy to manifest.
The DNA activation chapter. The full enlightenment of the trauma pattern woven into your brain and kept locked into the computer can be released and you can move into a higher God consciousness. The world is much easier and lighter. The frequency moves with you. The third dimension is now harder for you, and you are drawn into a state of a faster pull of rhythm and telomeres, which is good for longevity of lifespan. Consciousness in the fifth dimension. By understanding we can embrace the fifth dimension consciousness, we can fill our body with trust, love, and the light. It is through the grace of God's loving energy that our DNA can be healed and pain can be turned into light. God is energy. We all have the ability to tap into this energy, manifest. The fifth dimension, ... awakening to your own higher consciousness. 61. And receive it into our bodies. It's quite simple when you learn how to release third dimensional energy, because healing can't happen in the third dimension.
Hell no.
The third dimension is where disease, pain, and suffering reside. The fifth dimension is magical. It is where we come from. The energy of the fifth dimension is a perfectly balanced duality of feminine and masculine energy. And when you start to go into this dimension, the fifth dimension, the divine consciousness, it's a ride. When you're on this ride, while I am laying hands on you and healing you of a particular disease, hernia, ailment, or even cancer, and your hands are held up high or in prayer on your heart chakra while you are channeling with me, feeling and truly accepting the love light energy as it dissolves out of your body, the energy is truly of a higher fifth dimension, and it is amazing. The energy of God is an actual energy that you feel during the healing, and this can be experienced in a webinar or huge stadium. Nothing is too vast for the Holy Spirit. Scalar energy and God can travel through all space and time. Despite the challenges of living in the density of third-dimensional energies, my guides are saying it is time to move forward. The time for dwelling on past hurts, resentments, disappointments is past, and emotional karmas are gone when we move into a 5D state of mind. This is the time of the ascension, the time for individual and collective physical and spiritual healing and expansion of consciousness. The time has come to let go of the belief that to have spiritual and personal growth you have to linger in suffering. This is a false belief. and false conditioning, which have been held onto for long enough.
Sleeping now.
I believe in the next few years, more and more people will. 62. Awaken to the fifth dimension. Have a full awakening. The world is shifting more rapidly, and the good news is because of the fifth dimensional teachings, the healings will become wiser and more knowledgeable. There will be a 5D organic living lifestyle with 5D foods and 5D spiritual relationships, which will move all of us together into this awakening. So it is important for us to stay in this magical God frequency as we shift together.
Oh, my.
One can bring in the highest spirit guides and the highest angels. You can be a spiritual warrior and turn your scars into triumphs. You can turn emotional wounds into glorious multidimensional progress to heal yourself and the world. With high spiritual energies available to everyone, more and more people are going to massively be healed. Every day, my body holds more light and more energy from the masters. This allows me to become stronger as a trance channeler and medical intuitive. In my work and in my life,
You never
I
tell
am
me who sung
constantly
that
moving
song.
forward,
You
and
must
I
be
am
don't
living
know,
proof of
Negro.
what is possible through God. People often ask me why I was chosen to do this work. It is the soul within me that has reincarnated to help people move into the ascension. When in the flow of doing my service, I feel a joyful, ecstatic exuberance. I transform the energy of people's bodies, which is why I am called an alchemist. I do this as an agent of God. I do the work I am directed to do. As a spiritual form, in existence and chosen many times before, this soul chose to do this work before I was born. I feel many people here have been chosen and are going to see soon they are healers and gifted in many ways to serve with spirit. This is a joyful way to help the transition through the fifth dimension. Awakening to your own higher consciousness. 63. Our awakening. If people make themselves available to let in their guides and angels, and not let in 3D fear, and stay. The fifth dimension, and equally care about the inner and outer spiritual world, and learn new tools related to spiritual ways of being, we can gain peace through kindness, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. proclaimed, and we all can take part in healing our world. It is my hope that you fully embrace the idea that spirituality can be an invaluable part of your life. God can be a part of your life. Our world does not have to be loud and angry. We can be peaceful, loving, and calm. My guides are highly intellectual, yet deeply compassionate for you and humanity, and they are saying, we have arrived. Who I am, and my gifts, being a trance channel, and my guides, come from higher civilizations. We are messaging. We are here. They have arrived to tell people to spread joy and excitement so that we can move into the highest state of fifth dimensional healing. The information in this book is not intended to replace the advice of the reader's own physician or other medical professional. You should consult a medical professional in matters relating to health, especially if you have existing medical conditions and before starting, stopping, or changing the dose of any medication you are taking. Individual readers are solely responsible for their own health care decisions. The author and the publisher do not accept responsibility for any adverse effects individuals may claim to experience, whether directly or.
Okay, that's the end of that here. Well, I guess I'll let y'all listen to this here. I can't seem to get that other file. Hold on a second. Oh, well, what's this here? What's this? Okay.
FAastrology.com.
This is my chart here.
Astrology.com. /free-natal-chart-report-equal-houses.html.
Yeah, she talking fast, ain't she?
Free natal chart report, equal houses. The following free birth chart tool lists planet signs, house positions, and aspects. This is for the equal house system. If you are uncertain about house systems, we suggest using the default system for determining houses, which is Placidus. For the default house system, Placidus. Return here. Closing parenthesis. Start over. Chart data for Deanna Hall Stanford.
Damn, call my whole damn name.
January
Damn.
1976 at 18:15, 6:15 p.m. Time zone equals UTC minus 5. Universal time, 23:15. Augusta, Georgia, United States. 33 degrees north, 28 feet, 81 degrees W, 58. Tropical zodiac. Equal houses. Chart drawing. Introduction. The following lists positions of planets and points in your natal chart with interpretations for key factors. Planets and points in the signs. Sun in Capricorn. 21 degrees. 53 feet 28 inches. B. Sun. In the chart shows our character, personal identity, and ego. It represents our will to live in our creative life force, just as the planets revolve around the sun in our solar system. We derive our life purpose from the sun in our natal charts. The sun is our adult, the part of us that censors our inner child, reasons things out, and makes final decisions. The sun also gives clues to our overall vitality. The sun directs us and can be considered the boss of our chart. When people ask you, what's your sign? Capricorn would be your answer. Technically, though, it's your sun sign that is Capricorn, and you're made up of many different sign combinations. Even so, your sun sign is highly influential and significant, and we're interpreting this factor here. Capricorn is a feet on the ground, eye on the prize sign. Those with sun in Capricorn adopt a realistic, grounded approach to life that is unmistakable no matter how dreamy the rest of the birth chart may or may not be. Capricorns know how to do things, and to get things done. Some Capricorns naturally turn their backs on things they deem too frivolous. They are very much concerned with things that are worthwhile. And this also applies to their own lives. Capricorns want to do and be something important, like their earth sign relatives, Taurus and Virgo. They need to feel useful and effective in the real world in order to be satisfied with their lives. But the Capricorn spin on the earth signs is that they have a stronger need for recognition in a worldly sense. They have a great sense of society and its framework, and they feel most secure when they feel they are doing their part within that framework. As a Capricorn, you tend to like to pare things down, and you take pleasure in the simple things in life. However, some Capricorns can be attracted to status symbols, and these will wear the best clothes, tasteful ones, and drive quietly impressive cars. Comparing Capricorns to their symbol, the goat, brings up some interesting analogies. Solar Capricorns can see into the future, and plan for it. They don't mind taking things slowly, but they absolutely aim to get to the top of the mountain in life. While other signs might see a mountain, or a long road, and so forth, and fear how long it would take them to climb it, Capricorns are somehow comforted by the idea that they can slowly but surely get to the top. They make their way steadily and sure-footedly, and their strength and singleness of purpose are admirable. Capricorns can sometimes be rather lonely people, although they rarely let it show. They are often a bit reserved, even standoffish. This is usually because they value all things practical, and they'll seldom wear their emotions on their sleeves unless they have a particularly flamboyant moon sign. This is a sign that is undoubtedly the most resourceful of the zodiac. To some, Capricorns come across as unimaginative, but goats can be enormously creative when it comes to the material world. They are very capable people with a strong sense of tradition and responsibility. Many Capricorns have mastered the art of making people laugh. Their sense of humor can be of the deadpan variety. They're excellent at keeping a straight face. They can be bitingly sarcastic, too. Capricorns are not known for taking too many risks in life. They value the beaten track and things tried and true. This is not to say they are stick in the muds. They merely appreciate the hard work laid down by those who've been around before them. As a Capricorn, you think about old age more than most, or you consider your future self 10 or 20 years from now. This quality is behind many of the adjectives assigned to your zodiac sign, including prudent, cautious, and thoughtful. You've probably shouldered your share of responsibility in your life. You are goal-oriented and can be very determined to achieve what you set out to do. You may not be as quick to jump into new projects as some signs, but you're the one who makes it to the finish line. You may come across as a little judgy, largely because you hold yourself to rather high standards. As well, you tend to be the mature one of any given group, at least in spirit. You seek out and aim to create order, and you're very bothered by others who don't follow the rules and end up getting in others' ways as a result. Sloppiness such as this can be frustrating. You're not boring, but you certainly appreciate some predictability, respect, structure, code, and organization. You prefer not to stick out too much from the pack, preferring to respect others' boundaries and make your way through life quietly and steadily. Friends turn to you for help when they need to really get things done. As a Capricorn, you have practical advice, and you'll help them organize and manage their lives a little better. Capricorns are typically good with their word, dependable, and loyal people. Capricorn vibes with the number 8, Saturdays, the metal lead, marine or navy blue, dark green, gray, and jade stones. Your sun sign is modified by various factors, including the aspects it makes to other planets and points, its house position, the house with the sign the sun rules Leo on its cusp, and your Saturn sign since Saturn is Capricorn's planetary ruler. These positions add more layers to the sun in Capricorn interpretation. Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign. More on Capricorn. Ascendant in Leo. 0 degrees. 11 feet 10 inches. B. Ascendant. Defines, in part, the first impression we make on others in a personal rather than professional sense. It represents our physical appearance, our physical bodies and overall health, and the body ego. It can be the mask or costume we wear to greet the world. It reveals our natural and personal defense mechanisms that we use to adapt to, and cope with, our environment. The ascendant also shows our first impressions of the world around us and our expectations of same, whether we are naturally hesitant or enthusiastic, for example. How we begin new projects and our attitude towards new experiences come under the rule of the ascendant. Leo rising people cannot help but be noticed. They radiate a unique energy and magnetism that gets others' attention. Sometimes it's because they are loud people who pay a lot of attention to their personal appearance, especially their hair. Other times it's due to a regal manner that simply demands interest from others. You are very self-aware and body-conscious. You are acutely aware of others, and how you come across. In fact, you are especially aware of your personal backdrop. You consider what the people you're with, and the environments you're in, do to your own image. Often, Leo rising natives feel as if they are on stage, even in the privacy of their own homes. You are given to rash decisions, temper tantrums, and excesses. However, you have plenty of staying power and drive, and your idealism keeps you from getting into too much trouble. The desire to oversee the goings-on in your circle can sometimes amount to bossiness or the appearance of bossiness. If this wish doesn't go too far, however, it's really about making sure the people you love are all right. Many Leo rising people are managers, either by profession or character. The tendency to overestimate things, and yourself, is entirely possible with this rising sign. This is due to your natural enthusiasm and optimism about any new undertaking. Sometimes, people with this position are walking commercials. In fact, Leo rising people make excellent promoters. You can be quite demonstrative and given to grand gestures, although if your sun is in a less outgoing sign or house, this may not be quite as evident. Quiet power is perfectly fine. Drama does come naturally to you either way. In fact, sometimes you can be so caught up in fiction that you're a little blind to fact. You have an unusual need to be admired and respected. Whether or not you're popular, you can be hard to resist. In fact, it's probably up to you whether you want to move with the in crowd or not. You can be quite selective about who you give your full friendship to, probably because you're tremendously loyal and wholehearted with those you do, so it's not something you take lightly. People can be intimidated, however, upon first meeting, mainly because you come across as quite self-assured and self-sufficient. You do want to appear in control, and you very much exceed at doing so. This might work against you at times when you could use a bit of help. No matter your age in real-world terms, you are a kid at heart. You are fun-loving and warm, generous and spirited. In childhood, you may have acquired the label of the strong one, and much was expected of you. Even so, caregivers might have also treated you very carefully, tiptoeing around you, as they knew how easy it was to hurt your pride. As a child, when you were happy, you were a true peach, but when you weren't, everyone around you suffered. This may have been a reason for this kind of special handling. As you mature, ideally you learn that recognition and feedback are not what make you powerful, even if this message was absorbed at an early age. You can often find yourself in the position of leader. Whether or not you've chosen that role, you simply radiate the kind of energy that suggests you're in command and know what to do next. While you try to hide it, you are worried about failing or coming across as weak and effective. You are very proud. You have a strong sense of bravado and performance. Almost to a fault, you take the high road. It's quite likely you have a strong physical constitution. You pay particular attention to your personal appearance and mannerisms. You often choose clothing and hairstyles that are youthful and stylish. Your manner is authoritarian and stable, and also quite warm. You always seem to make a strong impression. There is something about you that is substantial, and people usually consider you to be trustworthy. You can be intensely, and quite stubbornly, loyal and giving. It's imperative that others treat you with the respect and recognition you deserve. You are unlikely to forge a real bond with someone who doesn't. You often attract people who are a little more emotionally detached than you, and those who tend to go their own way rather than follow the crowd. Just how magnanimous and outgoing you are will be modified by the placement of your sun by sign and house, as well as the sun's condition by aspect. This is because the ruling planet of your ascendant, which is often called the chart ruler, is the sun. For example, a Leo rising person with sun in Virgo may not come across as strongly as a Leo rising person with sun in Aries, no matter the placement of the sun. However, you are quite self-aware and optimistic. You have a natural flair for presentation, an eye for quality, and a hard-to-resist warmth of style. You want to make things happen, and you can create quite a stir, sometimes with your mere presence. More on Leo rising. Moon in Taurus. 29 degrees. 57 feet 45 inches. B. Moon in the signs reveals much about our habits, reactions, and instincts. It shows how we express and deal with our emotions. Most obvious in our homes or in private, our moon sign reveals our innermost needs. The moon can represent our experience of nurturing. It also shows how we nurture ourselves. It's important to note that moon signs change every 2 or 2-1/2 days, and on some days, can be one of two signs, in which case an accurate birth time is necessary. You have the moon in the sign of Taurus in your natal chart, and familiarity is vital to lunar Taurians. You are earthy and strong-willed. You feel with your senses, and you are pretty much rooted in your ways. You may very well revel in material comforts. In fact, building a stable and comfortable home and foundation helps to keep you feeling safe and content. It isn't wise to try to push you into doing anything, as you tend to dig in your heels if you're rushed or dominated, but once you've committed, you're remarkably persevering. There's a steadiness to this position of the moon that is comforting to people close to you. But there is also a conservative streak in you that can be maddening to more progressive personalities. You tend to go out of your way to avoid messy or unpredictable situations, crises, and emotional displays. You'd rather focus on creating a reliable and secure life around you. In relationships, lunar Taurians such as you may not easily recognize their partner's need for change, growth, or emotional stimulation. Staying on top of this tendency is essential. Moon and Taurus natives are usually very romantic, although not typically in a flowery way. Instead, their affections are strong, deep, and unwavering, and they are sentimental and warm. Since Taurus is a practical earth sign, the placement of the moon in this sign suggests an ability to protect themselves and their own interests. They will rarely make a move without first determining that it is safe and that there's something in it for them. With your moon in Taurus, you have a strong need for predictability in your home and family life, even if other aspects of your personality prompt you to seek out excitement in various other life departments. Generally, you have reliable instincts. You can be very much tied to the physical world, and you're likely to have a particularly well-developed sense of smell. Sensual but simple pleasures delight you tremendously. In this way, you are wonderfully straightforward and easy to please. Relationships for you are often quite enduring. Many Moon and Taurus people hang on to their mates longer than most, even in the face of severe conflict. Taurus is a fixed sign, so breakups don't happen easily. There is a serenity to you that others can find very calming. In fact, it takes a lot to really get to you. However, you do get off center every once in a while. You are not the most adaptable of people when your own routine is interrupted, for example. Though some lunar Taurians might be considered anal, most simply have a stubborn streak that keeps them rather resistant to change. Rarely are you a spontaneous sort unless there are many other factors in your chart pointing in that direction. Uncomfortable with surprises. You value stability. Your needs are robust but quite simple at the same time. You love the good things in life. The world of the five senses is all important to you. Your love of stability and steadiness can make you somewhat of a slave to routine at times. However, you are loyal and capable, and this kind of stick-to-it energy is wonderful. Mercury in Aquarius. 9 degrees. 08, 23 inches. What's your style of communication? How do you make decisions? How do you pick up, process, absorb, and exchange information? These questions are answered, in part, by Mercury's placement by sign in your natal chart. Someone may be an assertive Aries, but they could also have Mercury in Taurus, with a style of communication that's slower, patient, and not quite as spirited as one would expect from an Aries, as an example. Mercury refines the sun sign, and it helps to define how we take in, and give out, information. Unconventional in self-expression, you enjoy breaking the rules. With your Mercury in Aquarius, you are not necessarily loud or flamboyant. But you can have a quiet way of stirring others up. You may very well delight in exposing what you deem biases in others' way of thinking, or simply enjoy surprising or shocking others. Very quick to contradict others and to offer a different perspective, you enjoy intellectual debates. You're objective and highly alert, and your powers of observation are particularly strong. You usually win debates. In fact, you're very interested in scoring intellectual points, which can be maddening to others at times. Aquarius is an air sign, which is detached and intellectual by nature. It is also a fixed sign, so people born under Mercury in Aquarius often have an intellectual agenda. Some with this position have an apparent intellectual superiority complex and can intimidate others. Fortunately, though, most Mercury in Aquarius people make for delightful company. You always have something interesting to say, and your perspective on issues can be delightfully unusual, quirky, and surprisingly insightful. You're quick to say, I know, and the truth is, your intuition is so powerful, and your mind is so bright, that you often do. You may have unusual study habits. You're a bit resistant to following schedules, even if you have a Capricorn sun, and perhaps particularly so with a Pisces or Aquarius sun sign. Although you're often surprisingly organized, your sense of order may not be entirely apparent or understandable to others. You can be particularly attracted to scientific, technical, and/or metaphysical pursuits. Anything that promises progress and advancement for mankind has special appeal. Your sense of humor is well developed and unique. Practical jokes and anything that shocks and stirs up others is especially appreciated. You're clever, spontaneous, independent, and progressive in thought, and also a little stubborn. You despise backward and biased thinking. You're loyal to ideas up to a certain point, after which you see great value in updating your views as times change. In other words, you're not married to tradition, but you don't blindly attach yourself to new ways of thinking, either, although cutting-edge ideas do excite you. You're highly intuitive and quick to grasp even the most abstract concepts. Venus in Sagittarius. 13 degrees. 49 feet 22 inches. How do you attract things, situations, and people into your life? Venus rules our sentiments, what we value, and the pleasure we take in life. Grace, charm, and beauty are all ruled by Venus. Through Venus, we learn about our tastes, preferences, artistic inclinations, and what makes us happy. We look to Venus in the natal chart to see how we approach relationships of the heart, as well as what gives us pleasure. We also turn to Venus to show how we spend our money, the types of gifts we buy, and how much we spend on leisure activities, not to mention the kinds of leisure activities we seek. Venus rules attractiveness, both the ability to attract and attraction to others and things. Venus rules, amongst other things, the arts, love and romance, beauty and the beautifying process, money, entertainment, leisure, sensuality, and comfort. With your Venus in the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius, you need to feel you can grow and expand your horizons through your relationships. You want to learn new things and experience everything together. You're an idealistic lover and partner, and you need your loved one to appreciate your beliefs, visions, and ideals, or it's pretty much game over. You can be a confusing mix of the lighthearted and serious. You're a roamer and a seeker, and you don't usually commit in your relationships as easily as others. This is not because of a deficit, but due to your strong beliefs that freedom is vital, and you don't trust something that feels conformist, forced, or unnatural. You'd prefer that your feelings grow spontaneously and organically, and that a partner's feelings for you develop similarly. You're likely to turn people on with your big smile and laugh, your jokes, your grand schemes, your dreams, and your friendly, flirtatious behavior. You pride yourself on your open mind, but do watch for coming across as judgmental since your opinions are strong. Turn-offs in others for you are dullness, emotional overkill, and inhibitions. You're restless at times, and you won't put up with partners who dwell on only one or two things or uphold rigid routines. When the going gets tough in your relationship, you can have an overwhelming desire to run away. Usually this only means getting out and experiencing something new before you come back and deal, but sometimes it can be for good. You are attracted to people who are in love with life. A person doesn't need to be refined, polished, or graceful to win your favor. Pleasing you involves allowing you plenty of space in the relationship to grow. A partner should avoid getting stuck in a rut, and should understand your need to move on. You don't like to dwell on things you can't change. Learning to laugh things off is essential, but the right partner for you should take your rants and raves seriously, avoid criticizing your beliefs, join you in debates, and philosophize along with you. They should be ready and willing to join you in your adventures, however big or small. They'll also learn to look past your occasional clumsiness with them and their feelings, and they should absolutely avoid cornering you or forcing you to commit. My personal ad bio. I am fun and funny. I have joie de vivre and I love to laugh. I am open to experience romantic adventures, as well as a straightforward, even blunt, approach to love, are themes with Venus in Sagittarius. Truth and higher meaning are revered with Sagittarius. There can be some inconstancy and possibly a tendency to escape or flee when love is too complex, intricate, or needy. Some with this position are rather traditional in their approach to relationships, as this is a spiritual sign. You're usually sincere, upright, and straightforward about what you want. You enjoy getting to know a lover on a philosophical level, exchanging ideas, and experiencing interesting things together. Venus in Sagittarius people are not always especially attached to personal possessions. They are not known to be especially frugal, although some of them equate money with freedom, and will gladly put money aside for travel, Spontaneity is at the heart of what you love, so too much. Planning when it comes to your pleasures and pastimes can bore you. Things that are too time-consuming or intricate may not appeal. You have little patience with people playing hard to get or beating around the bush. The same goes for too much seriousness or romancing. You usually prefer to jump in and then talk about it after the fact, if need be. You're wonderfully enthusiastic, happy, and expressive. You're also just, honest, straightforward, and brave. Companionship and friendship are important to you more than other relationship trappings. You'd rather a partner enjoy themselves in life than feel tied down. In turn, you expect a partner to want the best for you, and you need a person who encourages you in your dreams. This position is not the most sentimental of Venus placements. You're trusting, open, and demonstrative. You need breathing room and you give others the same, unless there are strong indicators. Otherwise, you're not as attached to material things as others, and you may not be particularly frugal, having a basic faith that the universe will provide you with what you need. Mars in Gemini. 15 degrees. 08, 30 inches R. X. Mars is the planet that rules our drive and passions. In the mutable air sign of Gemini, Mars in your chart is a little scattered and unfocused, but quite adept, adaptable, and bright. Easily bored, you may need a fresh change of pace frequently to keep energy levels up. It's a somewhat odd thing, really, but when there's nothing much to do, you're exhausted. However, if there's plenty of exciting things on your agenda, you're a powerhouse. More than most people, you have a physical reaction to boredom. You have a passion for words, and when you get angry or fired up, you use words as your weapon. Angry communications, some of the most incisive and sarcastic ones, can fly around for the more assertive or energetic types with this position. Others not as aggressively inclined talk things through, energetically, whatever is the case for you.
Does this sound like me so far?
You seem to need to get everything off your chest.
The reason I'm doing this is because I stress so much every day about how crucial it is for y'all to get y'all birth charts so you can understand yourself. So this is my birth chart, the placements and everything, and what all these and what these planets and everything control as far as the placements and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Just when you're fired up. In fact, debates are a Mars in Gemini specialty. You can readily draw on your sharp wit to win arguments. In general, you can be talkative, and perhaps very much so. If your natal chart shows more reserve, you seem to go in and out of talkativeness, becoming chatty when you're worked up or enthusiastic about something or the other. You prefer to use words rather than force. You may also prefer mental tasks to physical labor. You'd make an exceptional teacher of topics you love. You can be quite skilled at communicating, whether in your speech or writing, or both. There is a colorful, animated, or enthusiastic quality to your communications, although you can be moody or your verbosity is cyclical. You're clever and a quick learner, but you don't always have that patience to go very deeply into specific subjects. Your skills are many, and you can be very resourceful. Your output is variable, as you can work at lightning speed when inspired and move on to something else when bored. You're given to short bursts of activity. This Mars placement is the position of the multitasker.
That's me, ain't it?
Some people with this position of Mars are quite fidgety. They have much nervous energy. In general, their nervousness and restlessness are at the root of many physical ups and downs. When they're on edge, they can be nitpicky. Many Mars and Gemini natives channel their energy through their hands. Gemini, after all, rules the hands, and these people often express energy through musical instruments, crafts, video games, and the like. Many are attracted to puzzles and games as diversions, and they're quite skilled at them.
Yep.
With Mars in Gemini, you can be very adaptable, often thriving on change. In a more conservative chart, this will show up on a mental level. You usually take up many projects at once, spreading yourself thin at times.
That's me.
Sustained interest is not especially the forte of this Mars. Placement: you'd need some helpful Saturn, Capricorn, and Taurus influences for follow-through, and if not, you'd benefit from attempting to focus your energies rather than scattering them. However, your versatility and disdain for routine generally mean you're busy and interesting. Your first instinct is to use your wit, words, social skills, and intelligence to achieve your desires and goals. Jupiter in Aries. 16 degrees. 37 feet 02. With Jupiter in Aries, you believe in the power of positivity, that life is what you make of it. You love competition or doing things independently. You value instant results. Jupiter in Aries individuals like yourself attract the most good fortune when they take the lead, initiate, inspire others, and demonstrate enthusiasm and courage. Prosperous areas for you are ones that allow you to head and lead, and to innovate. As a fire sign Jupiter, you identify strongly with your opinions, beliefs, and perceptions, and you may take it quite personally if others disagree with them. You make your own opportunities, and you are at your best when you are thinking in big terms, taking calculated risks, and displaying confidence. Saturn in Leo. 0 degrees. 07, 43 inches R. X. Saturn in our charts shows us where we limit ourselves due to fear or insecurity. It can be difficult to express or identify with your needs for approval or attention with your Saturn in Leo. You may hold some disdain for people who seem to need personalized care or need to distinguish themselves as unique and special. You may deny your own needs for things like showing off, enjoying feedback and attention, and expressing your playfulness. For example, you may go out of your way not to call attention to yourself, but then you feel unacknowledged or overlooked and resentful for it, so there can be a vicious circle involved. You may also have problems with people who seem to want to control or direct you. You believe that people should be their own authority.
Exactly.
You may not want to admit to others or perhaps even to yourself that you want to win or come first. You may worry more than most about your role in a group or setting. You're proud but insecure, and this combination can limit your opportunities. You, more than most, require that others treat you with respect, and you might take jokes or ribbing seriously. With this position, it's hard to let yourself go, and you may even convince yourself that you don't want or need to express yourself openly and without self-consciousness, but doing so can result in denying yourself pleasure. You may take fun and games quite seriously. Of course, this can also mean you're very talented at turning a hobby into a business. You're exceptionally skilled at organizing and management. Health issues sometimes associated with this placement relate to the heart and back domains ruled by Leo. Uranus in Scorpio. 6 degrees. 45 feet 25 inches. You're most interested in making changes, innovating, and updating traditions related to intimacy, healing, metaphysics, psychology, transformation, investigation, privacy, dependence, support, the management of resources, and debts. You seek more freedom in or through these areas, and you don't feel much need to conform. You may believe in breaking through some of the inhibitions or taboos related to sexuality, power dynamics, mortality, and self-knowledge. Despite the need for progress, you can be very stubborn and set in your ways in these areas. You may challenge authority or rules and laws in place only if you feel they are limiting our progress, seeking to revolutionize the ways we view our intimate relationships with others and ourselves, or to awaken others to new thinking in these areas. Your intuition is powerful and hunches uncannily on point. You're excited to break new ground when attempting to understand the layers of yourself, a person in your life, or a situation. Research is a talent. Neptune in Sagittarius. 12 degrees. 55 feet 10 inches. Your vision of an ideal world may center around the truth, tolerance, freedom, liberty, generosity, and intellectual understanding. You may idealize truth, justice, and the power of positive thinking. Your optimism is a breath of fresh air, but may at times be taken so far that you are somewhat blind to the practical side of an endeavor. Or, your goals and ideals are set so high that it can be challenging to reach them. Fantasizing about something better is your escape. Your openness to mystical or alternative interpretations of life is refreshing. Pluto in Libra.
That's me
11
all day
degrees,
long.
42 feet 36 inches. The quest to bring reform or to distinguish yourself through your relationships and connections with others can be so fraught with pressure at times that you have a hard time letting go or feeling content and satisfied with your accomplishments in these areas. The goal should be to feel more personally powerful through your ability to compromise and treat others fairly, not to seek your power from your relationships. You have brilliant insights into people and relationships. You know that improving the world starts with reforming the ways we interact with one another. Chiron in Aries. 23 degrees. 37 feet 08. You are a champion for the underdog, always ready to remind others of how special and important they are. However, you can have trouble absorbing that lesson yourself, and you may go through many years of telling yourself that you count and that you sometimes need to prioritize yourself to feel whole. You know it in your head, but it's hard to practice. Keep trying. Black Moon Lilith in Aries. 8 degrees. 11 feet 07. You may have felt shame for displaying assertive traits, for taking the lead without asking, or for making self-centered choices. You might harbor some fear of taking the lead, asserting yourself, and making executive decisions. Learning to accept this side of yourself and integrating these rejected qualities in palatable, small ways can be empowering and rewarding. North Node in Scorpio. 19 degrees. 55 feet 18 inches R. X. One theory behind the nodes of the moon, the North Node and South Node, suggests that we all come into this world with some underdeveloped and overdeveloped aspects of our character. The nodes of the moon point us to these specific qualities. The South Node represents our overdeveloped character traits that we automatically fall back upon. We're talented here, but if we overdo this area of life or hold onto these traits to feel secure, we may undermine our lives or prevent growth. On the other hand, the North Node suggests the qualities that we need to work on and develop to achieve inner balance. With the true North Node of the Moon in Scorpio, your South Node is in Scorpio's opposing sign, Taurus. This position can give the tendency to be overly self-reliant and set in one's ways. You may fall back on clinging to your possessions and habits, or you can be rather fearful of crisis or excessively focused on security. You may default to attempting to achieve your goals through willpower, not always stopping to consider your sixth sense and intuition. Learning to loosen the grasp you may have on your stuff, the people in your life, or the methods to which you're accustomed can help you open yourself to your soul's needs for transformation, change, and regeneration. In the first part of life, you may experience difficulties in partnerships because you may expect that others have or should have the same values as you do, but this can close you off to intimacy and sharing, and ultimately compromise the security you so crave. It would benefit you to avoid relying only on your instincts to support yourself and learn to share yourself more often with others. If you remain fearful of taking chances, or if you continue to resist change and others' input, you could find yourself unhappy or limited. Moving out of the seemingly solid and stable material world can seem intimidating, but clinging to things or situations that are either outdated, limiting, or that run counter to our growth will keep you in a state of lack. Releasing yourself from your attachment to doing things our own way will contribute to inner balance and satisfaction, and this is then reflected outward. Card of Fortune in Pisces. 22 degrees. 06, 54 inches. Your senses or instincts for potentials are powerful. You go a different, sometimes meandering, path when seeking your joy or fortune. Pursuits that draw on your perception, compassion, creativity, or imagination can be most fruitful for you. Drama, entertainment, poetry, dance, fashion, design, psychic arts, or music are some of the more obvious choices. However, fields that allow for some creative or freeform thinking or that Serve humankind can be in favor, including psychology, social science, medicine, and the like. Look to Jupiter and Neptune, planetary rulers of Pisces, for more clues to where and how you improve your lot in life. Vertex in Sagittarius. 11 degrees. 45 feet 55 inches. Midheaven in Aries. 19 degrees. 53 feet 39 inches. Planets and points in the houses. Sun in 6th house. The Sun's house position modifies and refines its position by zodiac sign. With the Sun in the 6th house of your natal chart, the work that you do, and the services that you offer, are essential to your sense of identity. Feeling good about yourself means being busy with daily activities and producing work you can be proud of. Focus on finding a suitable and rewarding avenue for expressing this part of you, being extra careful to choose an occupation in which you can express yourself. You are sensitive to criticism about the work you do, and you work best when you can create your own schedule. Positive feedback for the services you render is crucial to you, but be careful not to over-identify with the appreciation you receive from others, as your work and your health suffer when you feel underappreciated. Motivation to do a good job should come from within. You may feel happier with a position that doesn't require big decisions or too much pressure. You're typically very good at what you do, and you prefer to keep it that way. Watch for perfectionism that stands in the way of thriving. You tend to fret more than most people. Moon in 10th house. The moon in the houses can reveal where and how we go about seeking emotional satisfaction. If it's an issue, we can discover vital clues to the reason for perpetual emotional unrest through the study of the house position of the moon, and these can manifest as constant changes are ups and downs in the areas of life ruled by the house. It is in these areas that we should aim to make deep attachments rather than chase superficial and temporary emotional thrills if we are seeking out a genuine feeling of belonging and emotional fulfillment. It's important to note that house positions are quite sensitive to birth times. This position of the moon indicates an emotional need for recognition, popularity, acknowledgement, and achievement. With the moon in your 10th house, you can be quite charismatic. You are at your emotional best when you lead a structured and responsible life, but it can take time to get there. You may change your goals and ambitions, general direction, and/or your profession frequently in an attempt to find the perfect fit. You may worry about living up to your image, or the expectations of your family. Decisions may be emotionally biased, or you might act on emotional whims often. Learning to set your own heartfelt goals is the challenge here, as it is unlikely you will find real happiness if you follow or adopt the expectations of others, to which you can be especially sensitive. Your early experiences somehow encourage you to seek success and never to shy away from taking on responsibility. You may even find your family or home in your work.
I'm gonna stop it here for tonight because it's still some more, but y'all kind of got a gist of what I've been telling y'all about these aspects and these planets and these placements and everything in your natal chart. I be trying to tell y'all the truth. See, get your natal charts, loves. AstroCafe.com or either because this is cafe astrology. I got several apps. I got this, and then I got one for Astro Cafe. I got one printed out, then I got this right here. I got several downloaded. I know find out your life path numbers, which is the numerology, all of that. All right, my loves. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, share and subscribe. All right, my babes. Y'all have a good night.